All right, real estate is on the rise. Guys, I'm gonna show you how you can use your home's equity. Today, while your home's equity is rising, tap into it and buy another house. In this video, I'm gonna talk to you about how to use your home equity to buy a new house. All right, so first I'm gonna talk about how I use my home's equity to buy a second rental property. Then I'm gonna show you how to do it as well. And then by the end of this, you're gonna be like a home equity genius buying all kinds of new houses. All right, so it's 2013. The Army pulls me out of Afghanistan to go to college. So I'm like renting a room because I had a very short amount of time to move back to Florida and I had to find a place to live. And I'm renting this room and this guy has a cat. It's kind of weird. Like this grown man has a cat and he never cleans the litter box and it's like sitting right outside of my room. And you're probably, what the heck does this have to do with using my home equity? I'm gonna get to that very quickly, but I'm gonna show you how that one situation turned me into an equity millionaire in less than 8 years time. So this guy has his cat litter box. He's never changing. I'm the only one changing it. Finally one day I'm like fed up. I'm like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm gonna buy my own house. I bought a house right next to the college and I did what's called a house hack where I rented out 2 of my rooms, and after the mortgage payment was paid every single month, I was actually making $150 a month on top of it. So I was paid to live there. Well, this was a bank-owned foreclosure that I had purchased, and I did some sweat equity. I painted it, I cleaned it, I put all new appliances in it, and that built my equity. And I had an appraiser come, and he said, Brent, you could pull out $55,000. So I did a VA Streamline loan, as in Victor Alpha VA home loan, but it's called a VA Streamline loan, where they allowed me to take 100% of my equity out of my home. That was by using my home equity. And I'm also going to show you another example of how I pulled out a home equity line of credit on another example. So I took that $55,000 that I got from that VA Streamline loan. They literally wrote me a check and it went into my bank account. Well, I found the house right down the street in Palm Bay, Florida, like literally less than a mile from the water, less than a mile from Palm Bay and the Intercoastal. So I bought that house for $55,000. They were asking $75,000. I made an offer all cash for $55,000 and bought that house, and I still own it today. And I've had a renter in there ever since. Well, I bought that house for $55,000. I probably put about $25,000 into it, and I used a lot of sweat equity. Every night I'd be over there fixing that thing and working on it. And I also got my neighbor down the street to help me because he's a handyman. But we pretty much rebuilt that entire house. And how did I get the money? How did I get the $25,000 to renovate this property? I was actually in college at the time and I was taking out student loans. I do not recommend using student loans to fix up houses, but I did in this situation. Well, what I did, I had about a little over right at $80,000 into this house. And when I moved from there shortly after, because the Army sent me to Colorado Springs, I had a tenant in this house and I looked at it, I had it appraised. A bank called Space Coast Credit Union gave me what's called a home equity line of credit at 2.5% interest, and they gave me a $55,000 line of credit. They said this house was now worth $150,000 because it's all fixed up, it's beautiful, it's nice. And now I took that home equity line of credit and I purchased a triplex in Colorado Springs with it. That triplex, we purchased it. We have about $116,000 into that triplex. It's now worth over $600,000. So I just gave you multiple examples of how to use your home equity to continuously buy more and more and more real estate. If I show you all these examples, one is that first house hack story next to the college. The second one is that Palm Bay rental. And the third one is that triplex. If you look at all those properties combined, they have right at $1 million worth of equity. All right, next I'm gonna tell you how to really get the equity out of your home, how to do it properly and do it right. But before I do, smash that red subscribe button. It really helps me out with this YouTube channel. I do this 5 days a week, so give me some love. And also, if you would, also like the video too. But if you don't like the video, if you hate it, hit the down thumb arrow and I'll know not to make any more videos like this one. All right, let's talk about how to tap into your home's equity. You know, some of the ways to building your home's equity are little things like painting the inside and the outside of the house. That is probably the cheapest and easiest, most affordable way to build equity in your house. Next is carpet or tile and flooring, because that's the second least expensive way. And then third would be kitchens and fourth would be bathrooms. Those four things combined will ginormously increase the equity of your home. And then also you have mortgage pay down, what's called mortgage pay down. Every single month your mortgage goes down, so you're also increasing the equity of your home. And then you have appreciation, which has been happening quite rapidly since about 2013. Now, is the home always going to appreciate? No, there's going to be rises and there's also going to be falls in the real estate market. I mean, look at 2008. Look what happened. Like, it had to reset. And I think we're coming into another reset of the market. So it's pretty much inevitable. That happens all the time with real estate. But one thing holds true. We always have inflation going up, and that drives rents up consistently. You could pretty much keep the same mortgage payment and your rents are always going to be going up. Next, let's talk about your personal credit score. If you get a home equity line of credit or a VA Streamline loan or a refinance to pull out your home's equity, you want to have great credit. So that means not getting a bunch of inquiries on your credit score. That means paying your credit cards off. You know, if you've got a $500 credit card, let's just say a $500 credit card with a $500 limit, and you spend over half that limit, aka $251, that looks bad on your credit report because it looks like you're using the credit that was allotted to you. You want to stay below that. Now, if you do go over it, you want to pay it off each month. And you don't need to keep small balances on these credit cards. That is an absolute myth. It's better to have a credit card with no balance whatsoever on it because it shows that you are a responsible borrower of credit. So now let's just say, well, what if I need to use that credit card? Yes, use it, but pay that thing off as soon as possible, preferably in a 30-day time period. Also is length of credit. You want to have a longer length of use of credit. You know, you want to have that credit card for like 5 or 6 years. Same thing with car loans. If you have a car loan, pay that thing down as quick as humanly possible. It's not hurting your credit score as much to have a car loan. And you know, if you could do double payments, you're going to pay that thing off faster than agreed. So credit bureaus love length of credit. They love seeing responsible use of credit, and they do not like seeing lots of inquiries at one time. That really drives your score down. And the higher the score you have, the lower the interest rate you'll get when you're using your home's equity to buy a new house. All right, where are some of the best places to go to get home equity lines of credit or utilizing your home's equity? I highly recommend your local community bank. You know, if you don't have a local community bank, maybe a regional bank. And if you don't have a regional bank, how about a credit union? I don't recommend going to like the big ones like Wells Fargo or Bank of America. You could try, but generally these guys are a little bit harder to qualify for. The local banks love doing business in the local community. That's why I use the Space Coast Credit Union. It is a regional credit union for that region. All right, so I'm gonna give you one more tip on how to utilize credit and how to pull equity out without even using your own personal credit. I'm gonna show you a way that you can get up to $250,000 in loans, and some of these might even be 0% interest. I'm gonna give you a link to a free webinar that you can go to and learn six secrets on how to do this. Secret number one, they're gonna show you how to create an LLC that you can start utilizing to pull business credit and business loans, and some of these will be at 0% interest. Secret number two, they're gonna show you how to utilize this credit without even going on your personal credit score. Secret number three is how to get long-term 0% interest loans as well. Secret number four is something we already kind of talked about, is getting rid of your bad credit and improving your credit fast. Secret number five is showing you how to improve that credit and get the best credit score you can possibly get so you can leverage more of these 0% interest loans. And then secret number six is how to strategically negotiate with these credit bureaus and also loan institutions to get the best interest rate possible, maybe even 0% in some of the biggest lines of credit that you can use to buy houses, buy more real estate without it even going on your credit score. All right, and the link to this free webinar is fundandgrow.com/landsharks webinar. I know it's super long, it's on the screen, it's also below in the description. Click on the link, register for the free webinar, and you will not be sorry. Again, that's fundandgrow.com/landsharks webinar.